So with your crystal ball, what are you predicting? How long do you feel that this economy is going to be affected, or before we bounce back from everything?
So we economists have these letters they use to describe what happens in a recession. I used one during my talk, talking about a V, which means you get a steep, sharp decline, and then you get a bounce back that goes almost immediately back to where you were before. I would have said 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was in the V camp. I now have transitioned myself to the U camp. The U means that you get a long bottom that I think is going to last 2 to 3 quarters. I don't think it lasts a long time though, Della. And again, go back to the very first slide I showed, which is in the first few slides I showed, which is, look, we had a job market that was doing really well in January and February. Mm-hmm. We had very low unemployment rate. We had a terrific amount. We had, according to, at least in some parts of the state, we had more vacancies posted than we had people claiming to be unemployed. So things looked really good. Can we go back to that? It's possible, but I think it's the process by which we open up. We relax the order, because I do think it's going to come in phases. I don't expect the governor's order to expire on May 4th and him not have a press conference saying, okay, here's what happens next. I mean, I'll editorialize. I'd be disappointed if he did that. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to say, okay, here's what happens next. Okay, these sectors, these workers, these folks, you can come out. Here are the conditions. Maybe it's masks. Maybe it's taking temperatures as people go into work. I don't know. I'm not a health expert. I can't answer that stuff. But that's going to happen. That's going to come in waves. The longer between each wave. I mean, and after each wave, there's going to be a period in which they're going to say, is this working? Are my infection rates going back up? Do I need to shut it back down? That's what convinces me, Della, that I was wrong with the V and why it's going to be U. And so to me, this has got to extend 6 to 8 months at least, starting from March. So it's September, it's October. And that's really the moment where we'll know if there's going to be a second wave, because if there's a second wave, that's my Spanish flu story. It's it's September and October that you'll see the second wave, the real second wave. You'll get a little increase because some of COVID, some of the spring infection is out there and hasn't actually gathered up yet. Mm-hmm. But then it should bottom out in the summer. It's really going to be a function of what happens in the fall. If it turns out we've got at least a treatment in place in fall, and we don't see a real ramp up of cases in September and October, we may be out of this by the end of the year, and so we might have a 6, 7, 8 month recession, as opposed to what I thought might have been one that would last 3 to 4 months. It's going to go longer, but do I think it's going to go into 2021? It really depends on what happens in the fall, and nobody's crystal ball can see that far at this moment.